I got it switched just in time. Great to see everyone here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football on our Miami channel. And finally, this Miami team, I think, delivered for many of you what you've expected, a complete game victory, a complete annihilation, top to bottom, of an inferior opponent. We know that it happened 52-10 over Florida State earlier this season, but there have been a lot of one-score wins against the likes of Pitt, North Carolina State, Virginia Tech, on and on and on and on and on. We could name all the teams in the ACC that Miami has struggled against but found a way to win, which there is certainly that to be noted. But tonight, Miami took care of Duke 48-0 and avenged two consecutive losses to the Blue Devils. And we're not supposed to be playing Duke this season in the revised schedule, but the two teams got together, courtesy the ACC and courtesy two opponents who could not make it due to the COVID regulations. And so they matched up Miami and Duke to the detriment of David Cutcliffe, and Miami wins at 48-0. We're here on the Miami channel to wrap up the game, to talk Miami football, to talk about the effort against Duke, to invite you into the live chat, to take your comments, your questions, your debate topics, and of course to take your calls. And we'll put up the call-in number as soon as I can find it. There you go, 860-325-3687, 860-325-3687. Otherwise, I got to tell you that I watched much of this game until it got to be 28-0. And then I had no time for it after that. I needed to lock in on other college football games that were more competitive. But I did see most of Miami, when it meant something, build up the big lead. And, of course, Cam Harris had a huge night in being the focus of the running game, especially early on. Got number one ND fan here along with Bo. Good to see both of you. John, Canes are big time geeked up for shutting out, checking Duke. Solid performance on both sides, but still, yeah, it should not be bragged about, but still, Duke plays in the ACC, and they play good teams and capable, competent teams most of the time, and nobody else is beating Duke until recently. They've kind of hit the rails and fallen off the rails here recently against the likes of Georgia Tech and North Carolina. But through most of the season, Duke was playing Notre Dame within 14 points and within one score in the fourth quarter. Duke was playing other teams that are not supposed to be as good as Miami, playing them pretty close. So it's a dominant performance. Notre Dame is really about to win an ACC title before Miami. That is crazy, isn't it? And it's ironic, and it's a bit of a joke, but this is what the ACC has done to itself. They are going to have a team, a program, enter the league for 1 year, put the smackdown on the league, win the conference, and then say, see ya. What an insult to the ACC. Antonio, good to see you. Got Michael in here. Any comments or questions? We also have the phone line open, 860-325-3687. Stone, hey, Mark. Thanks for all you do. Love your content. Go Tink Canes. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would love to have done this right after the end of the game, but we wanted to take care of business as we typically do on the main channel following all the primetime games. And so I still wanted to get on here to pay attention to the Canes. So that's why we're here. 48-0. De'Aaron King, 16 of 24 for 248, 3 touchdowns. N'Kosi Perry got into the game, 1 for 2 for 36. We talked about Cam Harris off the top. Yes, Michael. I just read off De'Aaron King's numbers. 16 of 24, 248 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He ran for 46 yards on 11 carries with a touchdown. Cam Harris, 15 for 96, 2 touchdowns. Donald Chaney, 9 for 62, including a 31-yarder. Jalen Knighton ran it twice for 11 yards. Mike Harley had another big game. 2 catches for 105 yards, including an 89-yarder and a touchdown. Donald Chaney caught 4 for 81. Brevin Jordan caught the first pass of the game, 4 for 75. Hey, it's Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Who's on the line?
This is Antonio. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, I'm doing good, Antonio. Appreciate you calling.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on, to be able to talk to you live. I won't be long at all. Just wanted to say it was good to see the game. You can see we were very often to be honest, a little rusty, but it was good to get this real tune-up game against them. We really can't say it's a revenge game because we didn't have what's the running back, Smell or Still or something like that playing against us again. But to me, it was a little shaky to start out with, but they came on, they got the legs back under them. Defense looked a little better tackling tonight. A lot more pressure on their quarterback, and even though Bryce he hung there as much as he possibly could. He didn't play much, but still, we did what we were supposed to do as a team. This was a team run. It wasn't an individual standouts tonight. It was a team effort on the offense and defense side. It seemed as if Blake Baker came in with a different mentality today. He put a lot of pressure on them versus what we've seen earlier in the season with the opponents running back gashing us up the middle. They controlled that. I think they did very well controlling that. They did get a little. Some of their runs were pretty good, but all in all, I would say that it was a good tune-up game for them to come back after holding off this week and still having some of the starters out. But they did well tonight. They did well. I mean, they can pat themselves on the shoulder, say we got that one under our belt, so now get that game off their minds and get ready for the next opponent.
Well, Antonio, for everybody that says, this is just Duke. Well, Duke's on the schedule. Duke plays in the ACC, and nobody else is beating Duke like this. So,
right. And I think they came in with the mentality. It seemed as if they came in with the mentality of once we get our legs on this, we can get back to where we were. And I think they did well, especially with the long throw to Mike Harley down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed as if those two have really become in sync with each other since the last time they had that wide receiver meeting, letting them know they need to step up. And Mike Harley has done just that. He's the standout right now. D. Williams and Mark Pope, these guys, they got to be more cohesive with what Mike Harley is doing right now. You still got those young guys out there. You still got the Struggle out there. You still got Jeremiah Payton out there. You got these other young guys that's hungry. So time will tell next year. I'm hoping that all of the seniors that are there, since they do have another year, take advantage of it and come back and get better. Get their starts up, get themselves prepared if they really want to go to the NFL. To me, that would be the smart move. Come back, take the extra year, get better, get stronger, get your mind together, and see what can happen next year. Because I'm not sure how strong Clemson is going to be. I'm not sure how strong Notre Dame is going to be, or how really strong the other teams besides Virginia Tech. They're good every year. Their defense is there every year. Pitt has stepped up. Their defense has stepped up. So a lot of the teams in the ACC, they're getting strong. Look at Louisville from 5 years ago to where they are now. Louisville is starting to get better. They just, for some reason, Louisville and the Canes, Louisville, we're one of those teams that they can't get over.
Yep.
Can't get over the hump. But not to say it won't happen. But, their programs get better. They get better recruits. They're getting their confidence back. So Next year, we'll just see how everything goes. If those teams come back, I believe we'll have a better season next year. We will be in the ACC championship.
Yeah, so do keep in mind, unless something is agreed upon between Notre Dame and the ACC, you're not going to have to worry about the Irish. They're gone next year. They go back to being independent. And I would think North Carolina would be the team to look out for in the division next year.
Yeah. I remember when the games we were independent, and a lot of people were saying, "Well, you guys being independent, you're really not playing anybody. So why aren't you going to another conference?" And we did, some big results as well, and we dominated. And it's just like a boxer. You box for a while to get the feel of which division you're going to be in. So once they, now they're starting to get the feel of the ACC, the speed, and the other teams, how they come to play every game, every year. And no matter how good University of Miami is, how bad they are, every team gets up for University of Miami because they know they're still dangerous. Even when we was on the finish, we were still dangerous. So once you play us, you have to get up, because if you come with a C game, your B game is not going to even work. Then in later games, you want to bring your A game, it's over. So not only the other teams in the ACC, but we have to be careful as well, because all those other teams in the ACC are getting better. Look how much better Pitt is playing their defense. Virginia Tech, as I mentioned before, their defense is always good there. Virginia is always dangerous. Boston College, those are teams that sneak up on you. Even Louisville, they'll sneak up on you and blow you out if you're not careful. So although we're learning the ACC and we're getting better and stronger in the ACC, we still have to be careful, can't look over any opponent, because any given Saturday, you can lose. You look at Clemson. They lost Notre Dame, even though Trevor Lawrence wasn't there, but the whole thing is it's still a team game, regardless of who's the quarterback, who's the running back, who's on the defensive side. It's still a defensive game. When it comes down to the ACC, you still have to play every game.
There you go. All right, Antonio. Anything else, man?
No, I just want to say, MarkRogers, man, you did great content. I know everyone tells you that. Man, just keep going what you're doing. It's just great to have someone that not only covers the Kings, but you cover everyone. You have great content because you really study the game, you study your stats, you keep up on those teams. And I know it's a lot of work on your behalf, and I'm not sure if you do it by yourself or have a staff that helps you. But if you're doing it by yourself,
just me, man.
Doing a phenomenal job.
It is just me.
Job, man.
It is just me. I appreciate that, Antonio. Thank you so much. Those kind of comments keep me going.
All right, thank you guys, all the Canes fans. I love you guys, man. Hey, no matter what we go through, we stay together, we ride together, we die together. Just like they say, bad boys for life. We ride together, we die together. Y'all have a beautiful night.
There it is. Our man Antonio leads me to an interesting point before we get back to all the football, that if you run a business or know of anybody who does, who could benefit from a sponsorship here, please let me know. You can always contact me with any kind of ideas or suggestions or recommendations, anything at MarkRogersTV at Gmail. It's easy to remember, MarkRogersTV at Gmail. Contact me there because we need sponsorships for these shows. All right, somebody had asked Emmanuel if I watched the whole game. Did not watch. I'm not going to watch any college football game to 48-0 because I'm trying to watch everybody at the same time. So understand that once it gets to a certain point, like at noon, I prioritized Ohio State, Michigan State. The game got to 28-0. Okay, it's off. It's off my radar because nothing meaningful is going to happen. And if somebody makes some kind of crazy comeback, I'm going to see it on the bottom line and I'm going to go back to it. So then another game becomes my priority. Same thing tonight at 8 o'clock. I turned in for Miami and Duke. Once it got 28-0, okay, off my radar. It's done. It's over. Bam. I'm watching Clemson and Virginia Tech, Alabama, LSU, et cetera, et cetera. And there were really no close games tonight. Clemson, Virginia Tech, the Hokies kept that about as close as I expected them to. but at least it was still a game into the second half. But the rest of these games tonight were awful, except Oregon got knocked off, as somebody had mentioned about Mario Cristobal in the chat here. Chuck C., Jalen Phillips, please come back. He's starting to look like a top 10 to 20 draft pick. I would like to let him know that he has a chance to be a top 5 with another year under his belt, injury-free, of course. Island, BUI 242, Keontre Smith, Gilbert Frierson and company show that the defense works best with quick, speedy, athletic players. We play the best getting their offenses after the offenses, and they proved it. That's what you guys have been talking about the whole season, with especially at the linebacking position, of course. Get the young guys out there, let them cut them free, let them run, let them hit. Chuck C., it was obvious from the beginning that the ACC was hedging for a Notre Dame-Clemson championship game. Any reasonable person can see that looking at the schedule may have been one of the chips played to get to them. Well, I think one of the chips to get Notre Dame to play was basically that they wouldn't have a season, or that their season would have been very sporadic and difficult to play anybody and piece together a season if they didn't join the ACC. All right. Zach McLeod and company, yes. Need speedsters playing linebacker and striker. Mario Cristobal with a couple losses the last 2 weeks against Oregon State and Cal. Still an excellent coach building an excellent program, so make no mistake about that. I put together a video maybe about a month ago in which I looked at Rhett Lashley's offensive numbers and statistics at previous stops, comparing what he had produced offensively at those stops versus what the previous coordinator and the succeeding coordinator produced. And I had some requests to do the same with Blake Baker, and I actually built that thumbnail. I just have to do all the research, and that takes a while, so I will get to that. Seth Stein, does Notre Dame get in over a one-loss Texas A&M if they lose to Clemson? If they lose close, probably, yes. If they lose close. But that's a great question. Notre Dame's going to have their major decided factor over Texas A&M would be that they beat a conference champion, Clemson, that they beat a team in the playoff, Clemson, that they played extra games over Texas A&M. Notre Dame would be at that point 11-1. Wait a minute. Notre Dame is probably not going to play its last regular season ACC game. So let's keep in mind that Notre Dame is going to play only one more game than Texas A&M, it appears. John, I think the Canes fans are all partying. Not even 20 people here. Yeah, they must be, John. I think we'll take whatever calls people want, and if there's any other comments in the live chat. Otherwise, I had expected a lot more people here, and that's not an issue. But anytime we do a Miami live stream, we get 100, 150, 200 plus. So I just, even this late at night, I've done some crazy live streams at 3 o'clock in the morning and had more people than this. So they must be partying, or they pretty much took the second half off so they could drink, and they probably went to sleep, one or the other. So that's probably what happened there. So what you guys can count on this week is that we will do a Miami live stream with Cam Underwood. We'll also do a Miami live with the Wholesome One, and we'll provide those segments here on the Miami channel. So we'll do the live shows over at MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football, and we'll bring the segments on over here. Maybe I'll get Paul Scoop on the U over here. We also have scheduled for next Wednesday a segment to record with Justin Tatavio from State of the U, breaking down the X's and O's, and we'll probably look at this game and other things that he has prepared for us. All right, this might be the shortest live stream I've ever done. Appreciate everybody that's here. Again, we need sponsorships for the shows. So these shows, specifically our Miami live show, stays alive because of your individual contributions, and also if we can get a sponsor. So we are looking for sponsorships for the Miami show. So please contact me at MarkRogersTV@gmail.com. Also, folks, keep in mind that it's Christmas time. And you can always contribute here on YouTube or PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. And then also that do your Christmas shopping using the link that we provide on Amazon. Use that Amazon link that we've got in the description section of all the videos, and you can do your Christmas shopping right there. Island's asking, do you see Miami playing Florida in the Orange Bowl? Who do you think wins? Yeah, so Miami's pretty much slated for this the Orange Bowl. And then the Orange Bowl has the option to go out and find somebody like they did with Miami, with Florida last year, played Virginia in the Orange Bowl. So I don't know. That's an impressive matchup. It's a lucrative matchup. It's going to bring eyeballs to the TV screen and a lot of interest down in the state of Florida. And it's a natural matchup to put together because the teams are natural rivals that don't play very often. Of course, they played to start the 2019 season, but don't play on a regular basis like Florida State, and Florida State, Miami. So I think that's very likely, although most bowl games don't want to bring back the same team 2 consecutive years. But this could be an exception. And if they play, I think my estimation of Miami's chances are much higher today than they would have been a month ago or 6 weeks ago. My estimation of Florida's ability has increased as well because their defense is playing much better than they were at the beginning of the season. So for right now, I'm going to say Florida wins the game against Miami 34-27. But that could change. Willie Dixon, thank you so much for the kind comment. Those kind of comments keep me going. Appreciate that. All right, everyone. We will do 2 Miami live streams this week at least. Also, again, may get Paul Scoop on the U on here, and also Justin Tatavio from State of the U. We record on Wednesday, so keep it locked in here. You guys are my lifeline here out to social media. So there are tons of people that you know on social media that don't know me and don't know what we've got going right here. So just let them know on social media, this is the place to be for Miami football talk. So I would appreciate that right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. You guys have a great night. Get some sleep. Have a great rest of your weekend. One lost Notre Dame team gets in over Texas A&M. Then the only thing that could keep Notre Dame out of the playoffs is if Florida beats Alabama in the SEC championship game. Okay, that would bring in Florida, Alabama, let's say Ohio State, and Notre Dame. Yeah, Notre Dame's going to get in over Texas A&M. So even in this scenario, Notre Dame's going to make the playoff. Alabama, Florida, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Clemson. I got you. Clemson. Yeah, we can only guess what the committee's going to do. But, yeah, Florida, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. They're choosing then they're basically looking at a 10-1 or 11-1 Notre Dame team, depending on whether they play this week. That's right, that game got canceled. The 10-1 Notre Dame team that lost a close ACC championship game versus 7-0 Ohio State, and letting 2 teams from one conference get in. Could happen. All right, folks, appreciate it. We'll see you soon.